Hi everybody, in this video I'll go over these two questions and I'll start with this one. How many monthly deposits will you make while working and saving for your nest egg? And after that I'll do this question in this video, right? So these questions are based off of this question, and we've answered the first two parts already in this video. The question is, how many monthly deposits will you make while working and saving for your nest egg? So like that's saying, well, how many times while you're working before age 65 are you going to be putting money into your account, right? Each month, right? So how many months? So you're 37 now and you plan to retire age 65. So let's figure out how many years that is. Let's go 65 minus 37. Start there anyway. And that gives us 28 years, right? So how many months is that? How many months? I'll just go 28 times 12, right? So 336 months. So hope we're okay with that. Okay, now we've already calculated the nest egg needed to get our $3,200 a month. But the last question is, okay, so in order to get that nest egg of $438,000, how much money do we need to set aside each month for these 336 months to get to that goal, right? So let's have a look at our formulas, and please press pause on the video and figure out, you know, what formula are you going to use to figure this out, right? So press pause in the video if you can. That's the trick, is like, what formula are you going to use for this? What's going on in this problem, right? I'll go over it again just to try to help you think about this. Okay, so you're 37 years old now. You're going to work till you're 65. While you're working, you're putting money aside each month into a retirement account. And that's building and building and building. Hopefully it's planning to build to this amount of money, 438,000, so that you can withdraw 3,200 a month from it for 22 years, basically age 65 to 87, right? And so how much money are you going to have to put in each month while you're working? That's the question. So anyway, I hope you thought about it, and have a look at, like, what's our goal? Like, what are we trying to do? What we're trying to do is get to this number by age 65. In other words, that number is the goal. That's the goal, right? Right here, look at that. Deposit needed equals the goal times R over that, right? So that's the formula we need. We're trying to get that goal of 438,000, right? And what's our interest rate and all that? Well, again, our interest rate is our 6.8%. 6.8% over 12, right? So 0.068 over 12. And you can use that big long decimal if you like. I'm going to try to just put it straight into Desmos. So using this formula, goal times R, that's the top. Let me just do what the top of your fraction would look like. So 437,663 is the goal, times R, so times 0.068 over 12, and that would be on the top of your fraction, right? Now in Desmos I can do the whole thing, so I can just go over and then do the bottom, but if you could calculate separately, but let me just do it this way in any case. So 1 plus R to the power of t minus 1, that's what's on the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to go 1 plus R, 0.068 over 12, but that is in parentheses because it's 1 plus R in parentheses. See that? 1 plus R in parentheses, and all of that to the power of t. Okay, all of that to the power of t. In fact, let me just do this. And our T was the number of times you put money into the retirement account, 336, right? So I'm using my little hat sign, and then 336 to the parity, and then subtract 1. Okay. Now I'm using Desmos Scientific Calculator, so I don't need to put parentheses around the bottom here, but I could if I wanted to. It wouldn't change anything. You know, it never hurts to put parentheses around the top or bottom of a fraction. Okay. And again, if you wanted to on your calculator, you could have done the top, and then you could have figured out the bottom separately, and then you could, you know, take these numbers, like take that number there and divide by that number there, and that would be fine. Okay, but in any case, 436.88, and let's round that probably to the nearest dollar. So 437 bucks, right? Now I would be lenient on this, of course, because I mean, what is the one number in this whole problem that we cannot, you know, rely on, that is quite risky, volatile, unstable, not reliable, a complete estimate? What number is that? What am I talking about? I'm talking about this number here, 6.8%. So right now it's October 2022. We're you know, the war in Ukraine is going on, affecting, you know, economy in many ways, inflation, all sorts of things. And so you never know what the actual return on a stock market's going to be. It can be all over the place, right? And so I have linked a graph to that to show since 1872, you know, the S&P index, which is roughly speaking the US stock market, and it's all over the place. Sometimes the growth is over 50%. Sometimes the decrease in value, the recessions are you know, less than 40% in the negative. So it's just hard to tell. You can't rely on that number. And so this question is kind of silly in the sense that we're rounding things to the nearest dollar when we're dealing with this completely volatile you know, stock market, right? As all are, right? So all we can say though, and again, we talked about this before, that one thing is usually kind of safe is actually investing over a long period of time, right? So you never know, like you could put money on one stock or some type of fund, and then it just drops down the next year or two, but over the long term, it usually historically has gone up, right? So over a 30-year period or a 20-year period or something like that, right? So in any case, yeah, I'm not going to be mean about the rounding here, because the whole application is quite a bit of an estimate as it is. So if you did like 438, but if you did $438,000 as your goal, it would still be, you'd still need to put aside 437 bucks a month roughly, right? Or even if you rounded that to 440,000, okay, that's $439. On this quiz, I'm going to give the points if you guys are within a few dollars of 437, right?